3 cases, all shocking and disturbing, but one stands out over the rest as it's particularly dystopian. Welcome back to Horrify After Dark. September 4th, 2024. Firefighters were called out to Athens Highway at Lickskillet Road in Georgia at roughly 10 AM. The cause? A trailer truck that had caught on fire. Among them was Greene County Fire Rescue Battalion Chief Chris Eddy. There were multiple 911 calls made as the fire continued growing, thus Battalion 1 and Engine 11 were deployed. Seeing just how large the column of smoke was, Battalion 1 requested additional resources, including a tanker and another engine. At approximately 0928 hours, Battalion 1 arrived at the scene. Three minutes later, water was on the fire. This is when Battalion 1, Chief Chris Eddy, decided to investigate the rear of the trailer truck. Yo.
Holy sh! What the? Holy sh! Yo! Holy! Yo, is it?
Battalion 1 attempted to open the rear doors when an explosion suddenly occurred. Of course, due to the vicinity, Chief Chris Eddy was confirmed deceased by 0937 hours. Bizarrely, the vehicle's contents would not suggest anything malicious, because it was just frozen chicken. Many news sources maintain that the cause of the fire and explosion remain unknown, or are being investigated. Chief Chris Eddy was 35 years old at the time, and leaves behind a wife and a son. This is Andrea Russo, a 35-year-old construction worker from Calcinate near Bergamo, Italy. A Volotea plane is waiting to take off from Bergamo Airport at around 10:35 AM. Bergamo is a major international airport. In fact, it's Italy's 3rd busiest. Yet, even with this, trespassing is an issue that can pop up from time to time. 35-year-old Andrea Russo decided to trespass on the 8th of July 2025. He entered the airport, bypassing security, and without a boarding pass, somehow got onto the tarmac. A person from the terminal saw this and started recording. This is what he ended up capturing. Despite numerous attempts to stop him by airport security, they failed to do so. Andrea ran and collided with the engine of an Airbus A319 that was getting ready to take off. Not stopping there, he went around to the left engine, and then I will let you figure out the outcome, judging by the reaction of the ground crew. In a horrific turn of events, his lifeless body was visible to all of the passengers seated on that side, who were promptly advised not to look outside of their windows by the captain. Andrea Russo was, quote-unquote, ingested by the engine. I tried to get autopsy reports or any other information I could find, however that is not publicly known. Regardless, what I can say after viewing the video myself is that this is how the incident played out. I will leave the rest for you to interpret. Sometime in October 2020, a tweet was made by user at Vlecky Hund. The tweet went, quote, "A Houthi missile hit Al Marzan neighborhood near #Hodeida, injuring 2 women and 3 children. #Yemen." That was her first post. You see, Vlecky Hund was a special type of Twitter account, one that used OSINT to monitor developments in Yemen. To avoid confusion, I should clarify a few terms which will be used for this dark case. OSINT stands for Open Source Intelligence. This is the practice of collecting, analyzing, and disseminating information from publicly available sources. You would be surprised to see the amount of information you have access to on the internet. Vlecky Hund was a Twitter user from the Netherlands, and she used this publicly available information to make her posts. It didn't take long for her to start tweeting out specific coordinates about launch sites or other military installations. She'd provide satellite imagery or pictures from the ground and post them, with her tweets looking something like this. I should clarify, she wasn't being paid for this, so you could describe it as some sort of hobby. But her hobby was garnering attention from unexpected places. A research paper put out by West Point's Combating Terrorism Center in April of 2024 actually cited one of her tweets and noted, "For an open source analysis of one such complex of igloos, see the ever-resourceful analyst at Vlecky Hund's use of purchased commercial satellite imagery here." Yes, you can buy satellite imagery. It may cost a lot in some cases, but you can do it. Fast forward to 2025, and sometime in April, just to jog your memory, the US was engaged in a military campaign against the Houthis.
The bomb. Oo, gemi vuruyorlar. Oo. Of, gemi vuruyorlar. Allah'ım o ya. Vurmuyorlar dediniz.
During these strikes, a gathering of 8 people was taking place, somewhere on the outskirts of the capital city. It was an ordinary day, a day where the sun never set for them, thanks to an airstrike. The target was a stronghold with military equipment present too. There was just one problem. This wasn't a stronghold. It was 2 homes. Those 8 people were innocent bystanders. In fact, a few of them were allegedly children. 8 innocent bystanders were killed, and the reason? Twitter user at Vlecky Hund. She didn't come out with this until days later, but she knew that this had happened. To her surprise, someone in the US military took a tweet she made and conducted airstrikes based on her information. She marked a quote-unquote quarry as a military base, going by satellite imagery. Dropsite News asked the Pentagon if the strike it carried out was drawn from social media analysis. They never got a response. Vlecky Hund later came clean, calling it a very severe mistake, and proceeded to donate €500 with 2 donations, one to MSF and one to the Yemen Data Project. I would like to add in a personal note, as this is one of the horrors I came across on the internet that I decided to include. I have followed active conflicts since I woke up to Russian tanks crossing the border into Ukraine in late February of 2022. Every single conflict has its share of internet analysts and armchair generals, but with today's tech, these people have access to immensely sensitive information. What Vlecky Hund did is done by hundreds of other accounts who seem to forget that beyond their hobbies are real human beings. Maybe the dystopian future many worried about is the present we currently live in.